Hello everyone, I'm Freaky and welcome to the video. My friends, it's hard to find the perfect gift for your kids or your nephews and nieces because once they've got something that you know that they'll like maybe a new phone or an iPad or something along those lines, you really don't know what to get them. And I'm telling you guys, it gets harder and harder every single year trying to figure out what to get your family. Trust me, I know. But when it comes to kids, you want to make sure that they have a good time on Christmas. And they will say, oh, I want this for Christmas, or oh, I want that for Christmas. And you know what? That's all well and good, that they want this or they want that for Christmas. At the very least, they tell you what you want for Christmas. But sometimes you want to surprise them with something else. Now, this can be for either your kids or your nephews or nieces, if they're little kids. But let's just say, for example, that you got like nephews and nieces. Or maybe you're a parent and you already got something that they've already wanted, but you wanted to add something extra to the mix. What would you get your kids or nephews and nieces for Christmas or for a birthday present? And that's simple, and that is to get them a multi-regional Blu-ray or DVD player and buy them DVDs. Now, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, oh, but Freaky, why should I get my kids or nephews and nieces a Blu-ray player or DVD player and get DVDs when we've got streaming services that can show almost anything? Well, the thing is, there are loads of downsides when it comes to streaming services. So much, in fact, it would take me a long time to explain why streaming services are bad. But no worries, roughly around a year ago, I made a video called Why Video Rental Stores Are Better Than Streaming Services. So if you guys are interested in that sort of thing, then please go and check it out. It's very interesting. It's mostly me talking about why streaming services aren't that good, and there's also the problems with streaming services and how woke they are. I go into far more detail in that video. So I'll leave a link in the description box below to that video, and I highly recommend it. Well, of course I'm going to recommend it, but I promise you guys, that video will explain everything as to why streaming services are awful. But when it comes to DVDs, they're going to be with you for a very long time if you take care of them. Because when it comes to streaming services, if there's like a certain movie that you want to watch or a certain series that you want to watch, they might not have it, or they might have taken it down. But when it comes to DVDs, they're going to be there with you forever. Anyways, the reason why a multi-regional Blu-ray player or DVD player would be the perfect gift is for a few reasons. Number one, you can buy any DVD from anywhere around the world, and this DVD will play any DVD. Because if you was to get like a normal DVD player or a normal Blu-ray player, so let's just say for example that you're living in America. I think America is a region 1, and let's just say for example that there was an anime that you want to watch or have in your collection, but it wasn't released in America and it was only released in Japan. You could buy it from Japan, which is a regional 2. Your multi-regional DVD or Blu-ray player would be able to play a region 2. For you see, around the world, there are certain DVDs that can't work on normal DVD or Blu-ray players. Some's region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and only region 1s can play region 1s, and region 2 can play region 2s, etc, etc, etc. So, that's one of the benefits for having a multi-regional Blu-ray or DVD player. But I recommend a Blu-ray player that can play both DVD and Blu-ray, and you can find a multi-regional Blu-ray or DVD player online. So if you guys are interested, you can find them online. Just make sure you got the right socket for your outlet. So that's one benefit. Now, what sort of DVDs would you get for your kids or nieces or nephews? Or if you have any siblings or maybe a friend and they had a DVD player or a Blu-ray player, or if you want to buy them a Blu-ray or DVD player that's multi-regional, what sort of DVDs would you get them? But just for simplicity's sake, let's talk about what you can get for your kids or nephews and nieces. What would you get them for Christmas? What DVDs would you get them for Christmas? And this is the reason why I made this video. You know how these days, how studios and streaming services have made reboots of old shows, like the Powerpuff Girls or Teen Titans and He-Man, and so on and so on. And also, have you guys noticed that you don't see classic cartoons on TV anymore? Like, when was the last time you saw Top Cat, the series? And I'm talking about the old one. I'm talking about the classic cartoons. What about Danger Mouse? What about Wacky Races? Or Ong Kong Phooey? Or even better, what about the old Looney Tunes cartoons? You know, the ones that was from the 30s all the way to the 60s? Or Tom and Jerry, the classic cartoons? Or the classic Scooby-Doo cartoons from the 70s, 80s? Or what about the Flintstones? I mean, my god, the Flintstones is a freaking classic. Or Two Stupid Dogs. You know, all those great cartoons that you watched as a kid. And you know what? I've watched all these classic cartoons. In fact, back in the 90s, or early 2000s, while I was watching new stuff on Cartoon Network and Toonami, I was also watching the old stuff as well. And I'm telling you guys, I absolutely enjoyed myself watching the new stuff. Looney Tunes, Top Cat, Tom and Jerry, the Flintstones. I'm telling you guys, it was just a freaking awesome time. Not only did I love the new stuff that was coming out at the time, but I also loved the old stuff. My parents loved Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes. Even my grandparents loved the Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry. All the generations loved watching the old cartoons while we was having our own cartoons at the time. Because at the time, we had a plethora of things. There was Dragon Ball Z, there was Ed, Edd n Eddy, the Powerpuff Girls, Cow and Chicken, Two Stupid Dogs, Samurai Jack, Johnny Bravo. It was just a fantastic time back in the day. We had a taste of the old stuff and the new stuff. And you know what? I enjoyed all of them, the old and the new. But these days, you don't see any of the classic cartoons. I mean, when was the last time you saw Cartoon Network? Do you guys really think that they're just showing the classic cartoons like they did back in the day? Like the Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry and the Flintstones? Well, I'm telling you guys something now. The new stuff is absolutely garbage, and they're not showing any classic cartoons like they did back in the day. And I'm telling you, the lineup they have on Cartoon Network is god awful. And the only reason I know about Cartoon Network is when my nephew comes around and they're looking through the channels, and all I see is Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans Go, Teen Titans Go, and a reboot of Tom and Jerry, and that's boring. And the new Teen Titans is just awful, and Toonami's gone. I mean, back in the day, Toonami was for teenagers. Toonami made you feel all grown up. Toonami was a place where it took you seriously. It gave you action, it gave you adventure. Dragon Ball Z, Big O, Cowboy Bebop, Gundam Wing, Static Shock. All the cartoons back in the day felt grown up, and if you want to have a laugh, you would go and watch a cartoon. And you know what? The cartoons back then and anime back then felt grown up. But cartoons these days is just all fluffy, nice, understand my feelings. Oh, I am a strong woman. We can all be friends. So the cartoons are showing today. And you know what? They are so freaking awful. And yes, I know what some of you are going to say. You're going to say, oh, but Freaky, those cartoons are meant for kids, not adults. Well, here's the thing. I can watch Tom and Jerry, the classic Tom and Jerry, and the classic Looney Tunes, and still enjoy them and laugh at them because they felt more mature. Any generation can watch the Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry and enjoy watching them. I can watch Top Cat, I can watch the Flintstones, I can watch any classic cartoon and enjoy them as an adult as well. And if I wanted to, I could watch Dragon Ball Z with my nephew if he was interested and find Dragon Ball Z more mature and enjoyable to watch. So no, cartoons aren't just for kids. Because back in the day, cartoons was for everybody. They felt grown up. They made you feel grown up. And anybody could enjoy them. But cartoon these days just talks down to you, trying to teach you lessons. Saying, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Oh, try and be more open-minded. And it's all this fluffy, nice, bubbly animation. Feels like it was made for 5 to 10-year-olds. Today's cartoons are lowbrow, childish, and they just talk down to you. If I was to have any kids, I wouldn't let them watch any modern day cartoons. But when it came to the cartoons that I watched, that was modern back in the day, and the classic cartoons, I enjoyed them. And if I was to put one of the DVDs from the Looney Tunes on, I could sit down and enjoy that. And you know what? I don't care what anybody thinks of me. I love classic cartoons, even as an adult. They brought me so much joy and happiness. And you know what? Cartoons back in the day was not only funny, but cool as well. The Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, Megas XLR. There was just so many cool anime and cartoons back in the day. But there's nothing cool today. And the cartoons that we have today isn't something that I would watch as an adult with my kids. Or in this case, nephews or nieces. Now, some people might say that, oh, the modern day cartoons aren't the cartoons that you grew up with. So that's why you have a bias against them. No. Like I said, I do not like today's cartoons. Like I said, the old cartoons made you feel more grown up. They were funny, and even the past generations can enjoy them. And when I saw the new Tom and Jerry cartoons, they're just awful. The classic Tom and Jerry is better. Don't believe me? Go and have a look for yourselves and compare it to the classic cartoons of Tom and Jerry. Because the best part was always the characters getting hurt. But the new Tom and Jerry is just nice. They don't compare to the classics. And that is why I made this video. I want my kids, or in this case, my nieces and nephews, to experience the cartoons and anime that I enjoyed back in the day. I want them to laugh and enjoy the cartoons and anime that I grew up with. If I was to have any kids, I would love to have them sit beside me and laugh with me with the classic Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes. I would love for them to experience the cartoons I watched back in the day and learn lessons from those shows and not have this woke, fluffy, nice cartoons that we have now. Everybody should be allowed to watch all these classic cartoons. So, if the studios or these streaming services aren't showing them, then you should get yourself a multi-regional Blu-ray player and buy the DVDs. Because when it comes to streaming services, and even on TV these days, they don't show any of the classic cartoons. And even when there's a series that you like is on there, they will take or censor an episode from that series. Like for example, one of my favourite series of all time is called Only Fools and Horses. And there's this episode called The Longest Night, where Rodney, Uncle Albert, and Del Boy is brought into the shop because they're being accused of stealing something. And then, later on, another character comes in and he's a black fella, and he starts stealing things, and he's brought back into the shop, and he has everybody as hostage, and he's putting a gun at them, and one thing leads to another, and it turns out it was all a ruse. The CEO, the security guard, and this black fella made it look like it was a robbery, so it wouldn't look dodgy, and they all needed the money from this safe, and that's why they brought in Del Boy, Rodney, and Uncle Albert to have them as key witnesses. And guess what? Netflix actually dropped this episode because it was depicting a black fella being hostile and, oh, he's pointing a gun at people. And if you know these days, you can't show black people being aggressors or being the bad guys. And Netflix actually dropped this episode. And that's why I don't trust TV these days and streaming services. You have to be PC and you have to have forced diversity. And it has to be all nice and, oh, we can be friends and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm sorry if I went on a tangent, but that's the reason why you guys should get DVDs instead of relying on TV or streaming services. And if you saw that video that I told you to go and check out about streaming services versus video rental stores, you'll know what I'm talking about. So if they're not going to show these classic cartoons intact on streaming services or TV, then get them on DVD, which is why I decided to make this video. So number one, buy a multi-regional DVD or Blu-ray player and just buy the DVDs, or in this case for the kids, buy them the classic cartoons that you enjoyed as a kid and let them experience the cartoons that you enjoyed as a kid, or your teenage years or your adult years. And this solely depends on the person. Some people enjoyed Transformers, but some people didn't. Some people enjoyed the Pink Panther, some people didn't. It solely depends on what you want your kids to watch with you. And it also depends on how much you want to spend, because some of the old classics can be somewhere around to £50 to £100 depending on the box set, like the complete series of the Flintstones, but it depends on the region that you buy them from. And sometimes you can't get the DVD release of the show that you like that's from the same region as you, which is why it's always good to get a multi-regional DVD or Blu-ray player. It's like, for example, I've got this anime called Monster, which I highly recommend by the way, and at the time you could only get it in Australia, which is a region 4, and in the UK it's a region 2, but since I've got a multi-regional Blu-ray player, I can play it on my multi-regional DVD player. So once you've got your multi-regional DVD or Blu-ray player, you'll be able to play absolutely anything from any region. So don't worry about which region that DVD or box set comes from, because your multi-regional Blu-ray player will be able to play all regions. And also, I recommend you guys get the multi-regional Blu-ray player that will also play DVDs as well. That'll be the safe best bet, because at the very least, if a movie that you like or you want to get is only on Blu-ray and you've only got a multi-regional DVD player, you won't be able to play the Blu-ray on your multi-regional DVD player. So it's always best to buy yourself a multi-regional Blu-ray player. Again, you can find them on the internet. All you gotta do is look. Anyways, like I said, it depends on the DVDs or box sets that you want to get, and it depends on how much you want to spend on your kids or nieces and nephews. So you can either do one or two ways. And number one is buy them the multi-regional DVD player and get them the cheap box sets and buy them in bundles. Now, I recommend you buy them the Blu-ray on their birthdays, and then you can buy them more expensive box sets, because the multi-regional Blu-rays are going to be expensive. But if you want to go all out and get the multi-regional Blu-ray player, then get them some cheap classic cartoons box sets. And so here's my list of suggestions of classic cartoons that you can get your kids or nephews and nieces for Christmas or for their birthday. And number one is the classic cartoon Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Season 1 all the way to Season 3. Now, there are 2 DVDs for this. Season 1 and Season 2 is in one DVD, and Season 3 is in one DVD by itself. Season 1 and Season 2 is $6.99, and for some strange reason, Season 3 is 26 quid. And not only that, there's also the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, and the new Scooby-Doo movies. And the new Scooby-Doo movies would have celebrities from other shows or real life people. Basically, a celebrity cameo. And the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo was basically the gang trying to capture these demons that came from this chest. There's also the film Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. That's a classic. That one is definitely my favourite. There was Scooby-Doo meet the Boo Brothers, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf. There was Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School. And all these individual Scooby-Doo cartoon movies are actually really, really cheap. So I think this would be the best way to introduce all cartoons, and that is getting them all the Scooby-Doo cartoons, from series to movies. But make sure it's the classic cartoons, not the new ones. There was Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders. There was Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost. Make sure you get the classic cartoons of Scooby-Doo from the mid-2000s and before, and not after. So yeah, Scooby-Doo is definitely the first classic cartoons you should get your nephews and nieces or kids first. Again, make sure you get the Scooby-Doo cartoons that was from the mid-2000s and before, and like the ones I told you about before. Okay, and number 2 is The Golden Age of the Looney Tunes DVD box set. And in the UK, it's roughly around 40 quid. Now, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. When it comes to the Golden Age of the Looney Tunes, with this box set, there are 356 cartoons of the Looney Tunes. So you basically got nearly 48 hours of classic cartoons from the Looney Tunes. Now the thing is, there are a lot, and I mean a lot more Looney Tunes cartoons that isn't in this box set. I believe there may be around 1,100 Looney Tunes cartoons, maybe, and I'm assuming that these are all the best cartoons from the Looney Tunes. But hey, that's a lot of cartoons, and it's definitely a box set to introduce to your nephews and nieces and your kids. And you've got Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, Sylvester and Tweety, Yosemite Sam, Elmer Fudd, Lego and Foghorn, Pepe Le Pew, etc, etc. And you know what? I absolutely loved the Looney Tunes. In fact, I still do. They can be funny, they can be violent, not in a sexual sort of way or there's swearing or anything like that. But these cartoons of the Looney Tunes made you feel more grown up and just giving you a good laugh. So yeah, this is the best, if not the best, for the Looney Tunes cartoons to introduce your kids or your nephews and nieces to the Looney Tunes. For me, I just wish they would release the rest. I mean, who knows, they might actually release a Silver Age box set and release around 300 more, and then a Bronze, and whatever. I mean, fingers crossed. So yeah, this DVD box set is definitely a choice to give your nephews and nieces for a gift. Hell, I even got this box set, and so there you go. They will be watching these for ages. They've got roughly 2 days of watching time. This box set is definitely 100% worth it. And so, on to the next one. Now, the next one is going to be an obvious one. And the next one is Tom and Jerry. Now, there is a box set, and in the UK, it's only around £11 for a box set in the UK. But there's 1 or 2 problems with this box set. Number 1, there's 3 episodes missing, because originally there was supposed to be 162, but there's only 159 episodes. And 2, this box set has been censored. Well, you know back in the day when Tom and Jerry would sometimes do blackface? Yeah, that's been taken out in some of the episodes. I mean, come on, it was just a product of the time. But saying that, even though that it's been censored and there's a few episodes missing, this is a decent box set to get your kids or nieces or nephews. I mean, come on, who doesn't love Tom and Jerry? Tom and Jerry is one of those cartoons who are legends. They're funny, they're enjoyable to watch, and I highly recommend them. Tom and Jerry is definitely in the top 10 of DVDs that you should get for your kids or nieces or nephews. And so that said, let's resume to the next one. Now, these next 3 are from the Hanna-Barbera segment, and those 3 are Wacky Races, Hong Kong Phooey, and Top Cat. Again, these are classics and enjoyable to watch, especially when it comes to Top Cat. I mean, yeah, Wacky Races is fun, and Hong Kong Phooey can be fun, but my favourite is definitely 100% Top Cat. And in the UK, if you used to get these, it would be roughly around 25 quid for the complete box sets. Top Cat's got 30 episodes, Wacky Races got 34 episodes, and Hong Kong Phooey's got 31 episodes. These 3 are definitely 100% worth getting, especially Top Cat. Now, some of you are probably thinking, okay, all these cartoons are well and good, but can we have some action-packed and cool cartoons? Well, if you guys are looking for classic, cool cartoons, then I've got the perfect DVDs for you guys. And the first one is Batman, the animated series from the 90s. And this box set cannot be missed. It's dark, it's tragic, the music's fantastic. I would always look forward to watching this if it was ever on. And it's definitely 100% up there of being one of the most coolest animated shows out there. And this is the complete box set. And not only that, it also has the Mask of the Phantasm and Mr. Freeze Sub-Zero. And this is in the Blu-ray box set. And it's 35 quid. Batman the Animated Series is definitely 100% worth getting, not only for your kids or nieces and nephews, but for yourself too, because even adults can enjoy this. And so that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is Tex Avery. Now, when it comes to Tex Avery, he's well known for making characters like Droopy Dog. And these Tex Avery cartoons are really funny. They're kind of like the Looney Tunes in a way. Tex Avery cartoons are surreal, but they're more surreal funny. And there are things in this cartoon that wouldn't fly today, but that's one of the reasons why you should get them. And I'm sad to say that the complete Tex Avery cartoon box set is 70 quid. But hey, this is just a suggestion. Maybe you could get it for your kids. Like, maybe back in the day you really loved Tex Avery, and you wish you could watch them again, but this time with your kids. So if you enjoy them, this one is definitely a must if you're a Tex Avery cartoon fan, and it's for your kids. And there are 63 cartoons in this box set. I'm not really sure if this is every single Tex Avery cartoon, like Droopy and stuff like that. I think he might have made 67. I'm not really sure, but Tex Avery cartoons are definitely worth a watch. Okay, on to the next one. And the next one is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, there are two series when it comes to this series. There's The Legend of Aang and The Legend of Korra. But the one you want is The Legend of Aang. This series is deep, it's tragic. This is one of those cool cartoons. But there's also a problem with this cartoon. You also need to get the comics as well, because originally there was going to be a fourth season to Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Aang, and sadly it never went through. So what they did is create comics that continues the story of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I'm telling you guys, it is so worth it to get the comics, especially The Search and Smoke and Shadow. Avatar: The Last Airbender is one of the greatest cartoons ever. It's kind of like Batman the Animated Series in a way, but it kind of sort of has like an anime-ish kind of sort of feel to it, but not really. You can get the box set, and it ranges from 20 quid to 35 quid for a box set. And again, I highly recommend you guys go and check out the comics as well, because they are a continuation of the story of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And so, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is The Pink Panther. Now, the complete box set is 124 episodes. And get this, it's roughly around 11 quid. Great for money or what? The Pink Panther is definitely a classic. And so, on to the next one. And the next one is Courage the Cowardly Dog. This series has 52 episodes and it's 30 quid. Now, this cartoon can be a little bit scary, especially for little kids, because if you saw Courage the Cowardly Dog growing up, you know that this cartoon can be scary when it wants to be. So, enter at your own risk. Oh, and there was also a crossover movie with Courage the Cowardly Dog and Scooby-Doo, and that recently came out. And so that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is Thunder. 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 Thundercats. Ho! Sorry, I couldn't resist. Now, this is one of those action-packed cartoons, and the complete box set is 25 quid. This cartoon was sort of like He-Man and the Master of the Universe in a way, but more furry. And so, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is Goofy. Now, say what you want about Disney in these past years. I mean, come on, they're creatively bankrupt, and they haven't had anything good in years. But saying that, their classic cartoons are fan-freaking-tastic. Silly Sympathies, Donald Duck, and especially Goofy. Silly Sympathies and Donald and Goofy are the main ones that you want to get from Disney, besides from the Disney Afternoon and other projects, but just for simplicity's sake. The main two you want to get is from Donald and Goofy. But the problem is, Donald, to my knowledge, hasn't had any big box set releases, but Goofy has. Goofy is the everyman in his classic cartoons, and I think he added roughly around 56 episodes or something, and his best release is called The Complete Goofy. I mean, yeah, he's got like 1 or 2 episodes missing, but Goofy is one of the most funniest cartoon characters from Disney. I really wish they would have released some Donald Duck cartoons as well. So yeah, it's The Complete Goofy. It's around somewhere, I'm not really sure how much it is, but it's definitely out there somewhere, you just need to look for it. Remember, it's The Complete Goofy. And in this one, it's 46 episodes. Goofy isn't just some cartoony, childish cartoon, but his cartoons can also be something for adults to relate to, not in a sexual way or a violent way, but more of a, oh yeah, I can relate to that sort of way. Again, Goofy was the everyman, and I highly recommend it. And so that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is Samurai Jack. From what I've seen, it's £14, and there's 62 episodes. And basically, it's about a samurai that was flung into the future, where Aku's evil is law. And now the fool must return to the past and undo the future that is Aku. I mean, come on. Samurai Jack, an action-packed adventure film? For that price? Come on. Oh, and also, the 5th chapter can be a little bit graphic than the previous seasons, so watch out for that. Okay, now, let's get to Disney films. Now, considering what Disney has been doing to classic Disney cartoons, yeah, I think it's best that you get the classic films of Disney. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys a list of Disney films, both live action and animation and CGI, and they're going to be quick. Okay, number 1, The Little Mermaid, the cartoon version from the 90s. Come on, you guys know why I chose the cartoon one. Do yourselves a favour and don't get the live action one. Next is Snow White. Again, the same thing that happened to The Little Mermaid. They're going to make a live action film, and they're going to make Snow White a Latina. Hello? Skin as white as snow? Hello? So yeah, The Little Mermaid and Snow White. Beauty and the Beast, the cartoon one. There's Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. There's the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. The kids will love the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. There's Peter Pan. There's Alice in Wonderland. There's Sword in the Stone. There's The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under. There's The Great Mouse Detective. There's Aladdin, the cartoon version. There's The Lion King. There's The Hunchback of Notre Dame. there's Pocahontas, there's Mulan, there's The Emperor's New Groove, there's Fantasia, there's Toy Story 1, 2 and 3, there's Bambi, Dumbo, there was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, there's The Nightmare Before Christmas, there's The Brave Little Toaster, The Jungle Book, there's Monsters Inc., there's Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, there's Ratatouille, there's Up, there's Coco, there's Inside Out, there's The Incredibles, and there's the live action ones, there's Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Mary Poppins, there's The Parent Trap, there's Swiss Family Robinson, there's Narnia, there's the Pirates of the Caribbean films, there's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, there's Tron, there's The Parent Trap, there's Saving Mr. Banks, there's The Straight Story, there's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, there's The Santa Claus, there's Midnight Madness, and so yeah, there you go. And if you guys want any non-Disney films, there's The First Land Before Time, there's All Dogs Go to Heaven, there's The Secret of Nim, and of course, An American Tail. So yeah, there you go. I'm telling you guys, there are a lot of cartoons and films out there that I could have put on this list, but some series and movies aren't on DVD. But in the meantime, these series and movies will be great cartoons for your kids, nieces and nephews. It all depends on what you want to give them. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a series or a movie that's not on here, but you know what to get. But like I said, these cartoons are starters. So if you guys want to go and get these series and movies, or get series of movies that wasn't on this list, you can do so. But make sure it's the classic cartoons and CGI. And yes, I know I put a few live action movies on here, but the live action movies needs to be appreciated too. So yeah, that's what I got for you. And these are all the cartoons and live action movies that I used to watch. And listen, I would have said Dragon Ball Z, but sadly, they've never given us that perfect DVD box set that the series rightfully deserves. And if you want to get the Dragon Ball series, make sure you don't get the orange bricks. I repeat, do not get the orange bricks. The orange bricks are awful. So anyways, yeah, that's me all done. So yeah, for future presents, get your kids or nieces and nephews the classic cartoons that you loved as kids, and have them appreciate and treasure those old cartoons and classic movies. So yeah, what do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Is there a cartoon series or movies out there that I missed? Please let me know in the comment section below, and let's get a discussion going. I'm Freaky. Peace out. And please don't forget to check out my other social medias. Please go and check out my alternative video platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitch, and please come and hang out on my Discord server. We can play games, have a movie night or a series night, or you can watch me play a few games. And if you guys have any suggestions of any videos you want me to react to, or any video ideas in general, you can tell me on my Discord. I'm also on Twitter, Gab, Getter, and Paula. I'm on Locals, Tumblr, Minds, and if you guys want to support me, please go and check out my Subscribestar. It's like Patreon, but better. All these things are in the description box below, so please go and check them out and subscribe to them. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.